Bonjour les élèves, j'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, on va apprendre quelque chose qui concerne la maison chez moi. Chez moi. Chez moi means my home or my house. Je veux t'inviter chez moi. Today, we are going to learn two new verbs, vouloir and pouvoir. Vouloir you have learned even before, means to wish, to want. Je veux t'inviter chez moi. I would like to invite you to come to my place or to come home. Tu peux venir chez moi? Can you come to my place or can you come home? Peux-tu venir chez moi? So here you see we are using two verbs, vouloir and pouvoir. So je veux t'inviter chez moi means I would like to invite you home. Tu peux venir chez moi and peux-tu venir chez moi is the same expression. So we have two possibilities, as I have said before, when you are trying to formulate a question in French, often is the intonation or the way you say it makes it a question. So in English, in order to form a question, we always put the verb first. Can you come home? But in French, you can also use tu peux venir chez moi. Tu peux venir chez moi, peux-tu venir chez moi? It's the same meaning. Où est chez toi? Where is your home? And tu habites où? Où habitez-vous? So these are a few things that we are learning in the process of this lesson. Où means where. Où est chez toi? Where is your home? Tu habites où? Where do you live? Une maison ou un appartement? So now here in this particular slide you can see there are two different ou in French. O, U, accent grave, that means where. And the other one is a simple OU, OU, which means or. This or that, a house or an apartment. It is just to underline this difference, we are using this word here, une maison ou un appartement. So, où est chez toi? Tu habites où? Une maison ou un appartement? In this case, the first two sentences, où means where, and in the last sentence, où means or. So, in terms of talking about a house, see, these days in the big cities, can we speak of French a bit more? Maintenant, dans les grandes villes, plupart des gens habitent dans les appartements. Les maisons sont de plus en plus très rares. I repeat. Les gens habitent, la plupart des gens habitent dans les appartements. Dans les grandes villes, in the big cities, plupart des gens, most of the people live in the apartments. Les maisons, the houses or the independent houses are de plus en plus très rares, very rare. Les maisons sont de plus en plus très rares. The houses are more and more very rare. In the sense, rarely you see big houses or independent houses where people are living. So, here the first thing that we are going to learn about a house, because nevertheless many people still live in houses. The first word is when you go to a house, there is an entrance, l'entrée. L'entrée. L'entrée means the entrance. L'entrée dans mon appartement est par la cour. The entrance of my apartment is through the court. That means when you enter a building, more in France, you have at times a small court between the front and the back side of the building. So, l'entrée de l'entrée de mon appartement est par la cour, is through the court or courtyard. Le salon. So, in an apartment or in a house, you have the drawing room. Le salon. Dans le salon, il y a des chaises, des étagères. In the drawing room, there are chairs, there are bookshelves. So, we can also say that il y a les canapés, les chaises, une petite table. So, there are multiple objects kept in the drawing room, le salon. So, le salon is the drawing room. Now comes la cuisine. La cuisine. La cuisine is the kitchen. On cuisine dans la cuisine. We cook in the kitchen. So, coming back to the word la cuisine and cuisiner. So, it is the same word for cooking and the kitchen. So, dans la cuisine, you have normally multiple objects, les bouteilles, les plats, les verres. There are multiple objects which we learn in due course in details, but for the time being, retain in your head, la cuisine is the kitchen. Then comes salle à manger. Salle à manger means dining room. Dans la salle à manger, on a les tables, les chaises, le frigo, le micro-ondes. So, une table, you know what is une table, the table, les chaises, the chairs, le frigo is refrigerator, le micro-ondes is the microwave. So, you have to remember one thing, that in most of the houses in cities, la salle à manger and the cuisine are often in the same space. So, salle à manger et la cuisine. In this particular picture, we can see that the salle à manger and the cuisine is the same place. Actually, a space has been carved out only for the eating place, where il y a une table et les chaises. Then we come to one of the most important place in an apartment or in a house, les chambres. Une chambre. Les chambres or une chambre. Une chambre means the bedroom. In fact, chambre can also be translated as room, as chambers, but in the context of a house or an apartment, les chambres primarily means the bedrooms. In the bedroom, typically we have le lit means the bed, on a une lamps, and then there are a few verbs that we are going to learn today regarding the bedroom. On couche means we sleep, coucher, se coucher, je me couche, tu te couches, il se couche, elle se couche, nous nous couchons, vous vous couchez, il se couche, elle se couche. That's a reflexive verb of I am going to bed, and coucher is otherwise also to mean to sleep. Then comes la salle de bain. La salle de bain is the bathroom. The bathroom in French is called la salle de bain, and the objects that we find there is le savon, the soap, la brosse à dents. La brosse à dents is toothbrush, le dentifrice is the toothpaste. Now coming to les toilettes. In most of the houses in our country, in India, we have the same space for the bathroom and the toilet. And le toilette means the toilet. In Paris, in most of the European cities, the toilet and the bathroom are often separate places. So, le toilette and la salle de bain. In the toilette, we use another word very frequently, that is the flush, la chasse d'eau, la chasse d'eau. The next thing that we are going to learn today is le grenier. Le grenier means the place where you store the grains. So, this is one of the most common sight in the French countryside. You see beautiful houses, and among the houses there are the granaries or le grenier. So, le grenier is the place where you store the grains. In a house, typically we have another space which is a little bit outside the house, in the sense not part of the main house structure, but which is very important, le garage. Le garage means the garage. Le garage, so what do you keep in a garage? You keep the car, la voiture. Garer la voiture means to park the car. Où est-ce que tu as garé ta voiture? Where have you parked your vehicle or car? J'ai garé ma voiture dans le garage. J'ai garé ma voiture dans le garage. At this juncture, I must tell you that today I have used another form of tense. J'ai garé. Je gare means I am parking or I park. J'ai garé means I parked. So, this particular form of past tense in French is called passé composé. In the next few lessons, we are also going to learn how to make le passé composé, how to make past tense in French. For the time being, you just remember, j'ai garé la voiture, I parked my car. J'ai garé, J apostrophe A I G A R E accent aigu. J'ai garé. So, actually when we do the passé composé, one of the most frequently form of doing it is you use avoir in present tense and you add the past participle of the verb. So, garé, past participle is garé. G-A-R accent aigu. So, j'ai garé, J apostrophe A-I, j'ai, like I have. J'ai garé means I have parked. So, the passé composé is something which we will take up in the next few lessons and we will learn about it more in details. So, garer la voiture dans le garage. So, as we have done some prepositions, you have to remember in most of the places when we talk of an enclosure, we use dans une chambre, dans la chambre, dans la salle à manger, dans la salle à manger, dans le toilette. So, dans is inside that. So, j'ai garé ma voiture dans le garage. So, now we have learned different components of a house or of an apartment. Où habites-tu? J'habite dans une maison. Dans la maison, il y a le pièce, il y a 3 pièces, there are 3 rooms. Another word, les pièces is the rooms. Dans ma maison, il y a 3 pièces. la chambre, la salle à manger, la cuisine, le salon et la bibliothèque. Another new word. La bibliothèque means the library or the study room. The study room is also called bibliothèque. Bibliothèque is also the word for the library. So, typically, il y a la maison, il y a l'entrée de la maison, il y a le salon, il y a la salle à manger, il y a la salle de bain, il y a les toilettes, il y a aussi les chambres. Autour de la maison, around, autour de la maison, il y a le jardin. Dans le jardin, il y a les plantes et les fleurs. Maintenant, on va apprendre quelques expressions pour poser les questions. Maintenant, on va apprendre quelques expressions pour poser les questions. Now we are going to learn a few expressions to form questions, like est-ce que? Est-ce que tu peux venir chez moi? So, est-ce que is an expression that we often add before sentences to turn them into a question. Est-ce qu'il y a les livres? Are there books? That's another example. Then one particular expression that we have learned, où avec un accent grave sur U, which means where. Où est-ce que je peux trouver les timbres? Where can I find stamps? Tu peux trouver les timbres dans la poste. Dans la poste means in the post office. Next, où est la voiture? Où sont les livres? In the previous lessons, we have done prepositions. With the prepositions, we have learned how to locate things, how to say where is what. So, je vais à la gare, je vais en voiture. Où est la voiture? La voiture est dans le garage. So, I am going to the station, I will go to the station by car, and where is the car? The car is in the garage. Où sont les livres? Dans une maison, où sont les livres? In a house, where are the books kept? Where are the books? Les livres sont à la bibliothèque ou dans le salon. The books are either in the study or in the drawing room. Now, there is also another expression that we have learned before previously in other lessons is quel. Quel means what? Quel est votre nom de famille? What's your family name? Quelle voiture tu préfères? Which car do you like? Quel est ta star favori? We have learned this expression before. Who is your favorite star, film star? So, quel, when it is used for a masculine thing, it's Q-U-E-L. When it is used for a feminine, it's Q-U-E-L-L-E, quel. So, remember in this particular case, quel and quel, it changes its spelling according to the gender of the noun that follows. À votre avis, est-ce que la maison est mieux que l'appartement? À votre avis, in your opinion. Avis is opinion, à votre avis. So, whenever you ask a question to somebody to know their opinion, you can always start with à votre avis, est-ce que. So, now we are coming back to the same expression that we have learned before just a few minutes back, est-ce que. Est-ce que la maison est mieux que l'appartement? Is a house better than apartment? Remember one thing, in English we don't use that much of articles for general questions, but in French the article is must. So, à votre avis, est-ce que la maison est mieux que l'appartement? In your opinion, is a house better than an apartment? À mon avis, in my opinion, so it can be à mon avis, non, l'appartement est mieux que la maison. Mieux que is better than. In my opinion, an apartment is better than a house. À mon avis, la maison est mieux que l'appartement. In my opinion, a house is better than an apartment. Now, coming back to the concept of la maison and l'appartement. So, what are the rooms do you have in a house or an apartment? Il y a le salon, il y a la chambre, il y a la salle à manger, il y a la cuisine, il y a les toilettes, il y a la salle de bain, il y a la bibliothèque. But, dans un appartement, il n'y a pas de jardin. Dans un appartement, il n'y a pas de jardin. In an apartment, there is no garden. Mais dans le balcon, on peut garder les plantes. But on the balcony, we can keep the plants. So, just to give you a few words to have a meaningful conversation around the maison and the apartment. In the maison, in the house or in the apartment, you know the rooms, you know a few objects like le livre, la cuisine, le micro-ondes, le frigo. Le frigo is the refrigerator. So, you can also form a question, où sont les glaces? Where are the ice creams? Où sont les glaces? Les glaces sont dans le frigo. And you can also tell people, à mon avis, à votre avis, in my opinion, in your opinion. So, the next thing that we are going to learn is about some aspects, practical aspects regarding a house and an apartment. A house, une maison, un appartement, la surface. La surface is la superficie also. La surface means the surface area. Exprimé en mètres carrés. You know the metric system? The metric system primarily comes from France, and in France, when we do measurement of space, it is square meter, mètre carré. Okay? So, une maison à 100 mètres carrés means 100 square meter house. Un appartement de 50 mètres carrés, 50 square meter apartment. Then, we have learned already this word called une pièce. Une pièce means a room. Une pièce, a room can be dedicated for a study, la bibliothèque. Une pièce peut aussi devenir une chambre. A room can also become a bedroom. So, une pièce. Un rez-de-chaussée. Rez-de-chaussée is ground floor. Rez-de-chaussée. Repeat, rez-de-chaussée. Un rez-de-chaussée means the ground floor. Un étage. An étage is a floor. An étage is a floor. So, le premier étage, the first floor. Deuxième étage, second floor. Troisième étage, third floor. Quatrième étage, fourth floor. Cinquième étage, fifth floor. Sixième étage, sixth floor. Septième étage, seventh floor. So, we have learned in our previous class the cardinal numbers. 1 becomes first, 2 becomes second, 1 première, 2 deuxième, 3 troisième, 4 quatrième, 5 cinquième, 6 sixième, 7 septième. So, now we have the practical use of those cardinal numbers. So, rez-de-chaussée is the ground floor, rez-de-chaussée, premier étage, deuxième étage, troisième étage, quatrième étage, cinquième étage, sixième étage, septième étage. Combien d'étages a le bâtiment? How many stories are there? How many floors are there in the building? Il y a 7 étages, means there are 7 floors. Un étage is a floor. And now, un terrain. A terrain is the plot or it's a piece of land. Un terrain. So, on achète un terrain, on construit une maison. On achète un terrain, we buy a plot or we buy a land, on construit. Construire is to construct, construire. On achète un terrain, on construit une maison. We buy a land and we construct a house. Être propriétaire et locataire, un loyer, meublé, non meublé. These are very practical words for the students who travel. Être propriétaire, propriétaire is the owner. Être locataire means a tenant, to be a tenant. Un loyer is a rent that you pay to take an apartment or a house on rent. Meublé means furnished and non meublé. So, these are the words which we will find very, very important when we locate a place to stay in a French speaking place. Je suis le propriétaire means I am the owner or I am the proprietor. Je suis le locataire, I am the tenant means I have taken something on rent. Être locataire. Je paye un loyer de 300 € means I pay un loyer is rent, I pay a rent of 300 €. Meublé, non meublé. Je cherche un appartement meublé means I am looking for a furnished apartment. Je ne veux pas un appartement non meublé. Je ne veux pas un appartement non meublé means I don't want an apartment which is not furnished. So, meublé, non meublé. And then, which is very important in France, chauffage, individuel, collectif et les charges. Chauffage means heating system. Chauffage individual means independent heating system and collective means collective or central heating system. Et les charges means the money that you need to pay for the heater. So, le chauffage individuel, chauffage collectif, et les charges means the maintenance that you have to pay. La climatisation means the AC. With these words, now I would like to request you to look for the apartments in Paris with these specific words and write them down. Till I talk to you next, bonne continuation, bon courage, à la prochaine et au revoir.